Just wondering, personally, to you, what does a night like that mean? And knowing that all teams in the league have a night to bring awareness and remember loved ones in life.
Well, that is something that is part of the fabric of the NHL and certainly the Kings. And it's a very important night for all of us. I would imagine if I went around the room here and said, has everybody had somebody that's been affected by that disease, we'd all say yes, to different degrees. So it's a fight that everybody can participate in, not just the players, the officials, coaches, but the fans can participate in it as well and continue to raise awareness. That's the only way we're going to find a solution, I believe, in the long run.
This stretch of practices has presented the group with a chance to work on special teams maybe a little bit more. The guys in the room seem to really buy into that notion. How important is it to be able to drill into more concepts when you have the time now as opposed to later in the year when you're not going to have it?
Yeah, later in the year when we don't have it, it's going to be through visual meetings, that type of thing. And I think being able to feel it on the ice is more important. So we tried to take advantage of that, not just with special teams, but our full game over the last few days. It still comes down to transferring that into the game and being, on the power play in particular, more productive.
About 10 times a year we ask you, what are you looking for early in the game? Does that change now that you've had a significant amount of practice time? What you're looking for those first 10 minutes to, is your team ready type of thing?
I don't believe it does. Sometimes when you haven't played for a while, you don't forget how to play, but you're so excited to play again, you make over-aggressive or nervous mistakes, which we obviously want to avoid, but we sure don't want to take the enthusiasm and energy away from them. So it's a balance. We won't dramatically change what we look for, face-offs, the competitiveness, the attack mentality. Are we responsible coming back to our end? There's other game management scenarios that we've talked about over the past 3 or 4 days that we still feel we have to improve on.
Todd, is there anything that unique that Florida does or anything different in their game that maybe you guys have to make some adjustments towards?
Well, they play fast. They can play long. They can just send pucks up and go. They're a volume shooting team. They have confidence. I believe the Barkov line right now may be the best 3 or one of the top 3 combinations in the league as far as producing offense, and they can check as well. So we have to be aware of that. And so that's kind of what we're looking for.
A team like Florida, there's a very strong media narrative about them. Maybe they're coming into this season with a chip on their shoulder. They have something to prove. Is that something that gets factored into a scouting report?
No. I don't know what the media is saying about Florida. I really don't. I just know what I see. I know who's on their team. They're very well coached. They're going to be organized. For us, it doesn't matter what the media says.
Todd, Trevor Lewis now 14 games back with the Kings. Has he given you what you expected that he would give you?
Yeah, I would say in my time here, this go-around's been more productive for him than it has on the initial one. But circumstances are completely different right now. The teardown at that time was in full motion. He saw a lot of teammates leave. He left himself. Team didn't have as much confidence. Now he comes back. He's found line mates. He's healthy. He's provided some confidence on the penalty kill. So I would say yes, he's produced as we thought he would.
And on the PK, you've had him and Lazat as one of your 3 forward pairs. They seem to have clicked. Right from game 1. How much of that is Louis helping Lazat and vice versa?
I think together, the 2 of them, that's their. We've got 10 guys on the power play, and somebody leads that or whatever. But Louis and Lizzo drive our penalty kill. That's what they're responsible for. That's one of the changes that we made. They start the majority of them depending on fatigue, and we trust them to get the job done. And when it's time to work on penalty kill, when it's time to practice, we try and make sure that those 2 are setting the standard, and they've embraced it. So they've done a good job of working off of each other.
With the power play, how much of the change you're looking for could maybe be fixed fixed by a small personnel tweak versus just maybe a refresh of ideas as you try to kind of jumpstart those units?
Well, we have to look at all options. Our power play has not been a disaster, but it hasn't, it hasn't clicked. It hasn't created the energy that we need in the game. Jimmy Hiller looked back to last year, and our numbers were, at this point, quite similar. In fact, we've probably created more chances this year, just have had trouble finishing in some areas. I think of the Philly game when Kempe had that rebound off the side of the net. Those are two prime scoring chances. We have to find ways to finish those off, and it only has to happen once every 3 games, and all of a sudden you start to feel good about yourself. So we can't get too over aggressive with shuffling everything around if opportunities exist. Now there's 2 minutes where nothing's going on. Those are the disappointing ones, and we have some of those as well.
Not to use it as an excuse, but how much of that is not having Arvidsson on the right side?
Well, it's Arvidsson and it's Gabe and it's Durs and they're not here, so there's no sense talking about them. But those righties, and we have Spenny on the top now, and he does a tremendous job. But those righties can make a big difference when you get into a certain attack point. They have the puck in a prime position where their vision allows them to see everything. A lefty has the puck in the same spot. He may not see everything. He's closed off. But we are what we are, and we have to make it better.
Hey, Todd.
No problem.
I've got a bit of an off-the-board league more question, and if you feel like it's too tough for you to answer, please say so. Pat Verbeek has kind of got this games management plan with Leo Carlson down there. I'm just curious, in your experience, I mean, or even how novel of an idea is that with a elite, quote unquote, kind of rookie, or young rookie to manage him in that instance, and is that something that could maybe?
Well, what I would say is it's a really tough question for me to answer because I don't know the circumstances. I don't know. I know Leo's an unreal player. He's going to be an unreal player, but I don't know his physical attributes. I don't know anything about his mental makeup. I don't know what the plan is in the organization. I think Beaker's spent all those years in Detroit with him, a hell of a manager. And if he has a plan, it'll be a real clear plan. But I can't share with you any of my thoughts or ideas on that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was probably coming at it more as
overall.
Is that something that you've seen? Is it a real novel idea? Is it something that you've seen in any other situations?
Well,
over your years, or
I think we see it a lot, but in a different way. We give some guys an opportunity. If it doesn't work, then we send them down to the American League. And in the American League, they have pockets of 4 or 5 days of practice time. Then they go play on the weekend. They get another pocket. So being in the gym, working on skill development. Yesterday we had a skill development day in Ontario. We don't get them here. We just don't have enough days between games. So I think there's the other way of doing it is sending them down too, but they get to make decisions, and knowing Pat and watching the kid, it's probably going to be really good for them.
Looked like you were toying with the idea of Quinton Byfield on the top power play unit. Does it make it easier to make a lineup adjustment like that because he has experience playing with Kempe and Quinton?
Well, I would say that Quinton's going on a power play unit. I don't know if it's the top one. He is part of a unit right now, and maybe we flip that around a little bit. But having played with Kempe and Kopitar and entering into the frame fresh with them when the play starts, it will help as well. But he's got a tenacity to him and an energy to him right now of hunting pucks down. Perhaps that's what that group of players needs.
how much has his playmaking really helped him advance? From what I see, he's not making crazy long passes whatsoever. It's like those extra little pokes and those small area plays that he seems to really thrive, that don't just jump out at the,
No, you have to, you have to watch him, and obviously you have, I keep using the word the tenacity that he has. Like, he has a hunt mentality, and a lot of players are leaving him and the play's not done. He's swooping around and keeping a puck alive. And then from there, he gets his feet back underneath him and he can make a play. That's skill, talent, confidence, stamina right now. All those things are coming out in his game. You know, we don't talk about at the year end, hey, Q's got to do this and Q's got to do that for us to succeed. He's doing a lot of things that we didn't statistically talk about at the end of the year. I was asked questions, does he have to score more, does he have to, that will come. But he's a very effective player at what he's doing right now.
You said you don't pay attention to what the media says about Florida. Do you pay attention to what the media says about your team?
No, no, I shouldn't say that. Because if I say that, I disrespect the people in this room. But I can't tell you that I go to fourth period, grade, whatever. There, plug it again. Fourth period. Fourth period.
I don't need it.
No, I'm
the
playing.
fourth.
But I don't go and jump on the computer and say, hey, what are you know, what are some really smart people in this room saying about our team? I just think it can take you the wrong way if you start buying into it. Then there could be a bitterness between me and you, and that should never happen because you got a job to do and I have a job to do. You're entitled to your opinion. I also spent 4 years in Canada, so there you go.